Jerry Tope.
And I'm Kendra Cook, the Southwest TV Translator Association, who underwrites the news, and the Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
Here at the News at Noon show, we present news we hope you find interesting and report on local issues and events. Call us with your news tips or topics you'd like to see covered at 677-4119.
We appreciate you watching DCTV. Today's show is live Tuesday at noon and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 6 p.m. and re-aired on Friday at noon, 2:30 and 6.
Coming up, Mesa Verde, missing man, Mancus survey, storm rating status for Dolores County, and more.
Find out about a Colorado marijuana plant bill, meth death, electric car tax, along with the weather and the area happenings.
That's all coming up today, March 7th, 2017, and now here's the news.
Still no clues to finding a Mesa Verde hiker who has been missing since 2013, according to the Cortez Journal. A hiker who went missing in Mesa Verde National Park more than 3.5 years ago has still not been found, but the search continues. On June 9th, 2013, Mitchell Dale Stillen, 51, disappeared after telling his wife and mother he was going for a hike to the Spruce Tree House ruin. When he had not returned 2 hours later, an intensive 2-week search began that at its peak included 60 searchers, 2 dog teams, helicopter surveillance, and rope teams that rappelled off cliffs in the Chapin Mesa area. But not one physical clue has been found regarding Stelling's disappearance, who left with no water on a sweltering hot day that reached over 100 degrees. Witnesses reported seeing him on the Petroglyph Point Trail, a 2.5-mile loop with cliff exposure that takes off from the Spruce Tree Trail. Jesse Farias, chief ranger for Mesa Verde National Park, said that the area has been heavily searched and efforts continue there but with no results. He said in November we had a dog team come in and search that area again for human remains, but they did not pick up any hits. When we have search and rescue exercises, we go there and continue to look but have not found him. The Petroglyph Point Trail follows a cliff base before ascending to the mesa via a series of steep, switchbacking sections with steep cuts into the rock. Witnesses reported seeing him at the panel, and scent dogs initially showed interest in the area in the first days of the search. Farias, said Sterling's wife, Danae, was present for the most recent dog search in November. We all want closure on this case. It's difficult for the family and for park staff. We let all employees know about the case. The missing poster is in our office, and we continue to search different areas. No foul play is suspected in the case. Farias said the case is still open. My gut feeling is that he is out there somewhere and never left the park. There is no reason to think otherwise. The park has shared case files with the family, Farias said, and keeps them informed of search activity, which may continue again this spring.
According to the Cortez Journal, a 25-year-old Cortez woman was transported to Southwest Memorial Hospital early Saturday morning in an unconscious state after she reportedly overdosed on methamphetamine, according to the Montezuma County Sheriff's Department. Deputies responded to the 5600 block of County Road 25 south of Cortez just after 2 a.m. Saturday to a report of CPR in progress on a woman, according to the report from Deputy Jared Farnsworth. The woman was taken to the hospital but survived the incident, Sheriff Steve Nolan said Monday. There's always a risk of overdose when you're using, Nolan said. Any overdose from a controlled substance which is illegal to possess is not accidental. 2 men told Farnsworth they arrived at the residence to pick up the woman and head to a bar. According to the report, the woman invited the 2 men into the residence and then went into the bathroom, the report states. When she came out of the bathroom, she walked 10 to 15 feet into her room and then began to shake and fell to the ground. According to the report, one of the men noticed the woman had a syringe in her hand. He told Farnsworth in the report. At the scene, Farnsworth discovered 2 glass pipes that appeared to have methamphetamine residue, as well as 22 small syringes. The report states he confiscated all the paraphernalia for destruction, according to the report. Nolan said no criminal charges had been filed as of Monday morning in connection with the incident, but it is still possible some may be filed. The woman's name was not released because it was a medical situation and not a criminal incident, he said. This just goes to show you the importance of the issue we have with drug abuse in Montezuma County. Nolan said we have to have more resources to shut this off as much as we can and get people the help they need.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, after objections from the public, Montezuma County Commissioners decided to hold candidate interviews for a planning and zoning board position in open session instead of private. The Commissioners' agenda stated the interviews would be held in private at 2 p.m., but the Commissioners changed their mind after members of the public objected. As a voter and resident, I'm interested in the questions that will be asked and the candidates' qualifications and positions to planning issues like zoning, said David Long of Cortez. Audience member M.B. McAfee said there is nothing in Colorado open meetings law that exempts the planning board interviews from being held in public. The interviews are a matter of public concern and interest, and open meeting laws should be followed, she said. After hearing from the audience in the morning public comment session, the commissioners unanimously agreed to hold the interviews in public. The audience was asked to not make comments during the interviews. The interview format had to be adjusted for public session. For fairness, candidates not being interviewed will be asked to wait outside the meeting room until it was their turn. The County Commission appoints members of the Planning and Zoning Board. The candidates to be interviewed for the open board position are David Lindvall, Rob Pope, Stan Pierce, and Ronnie Hurst. The appointed board member will replace Mike Gaddy, who relocated for employment reasons. Planning and Zoning Board terms are for 3 years.
The Durango Herald reported on the possibility of Colorado hitting the brakes on electric car tax breaks. If you're looking to claim the tax credit for purchasing an electrical vehicle, you might want to grab your checkbook and head down to a dealership. The Colorado General Assembly is eyeing a bill that would remove the tax credit and transfer this money toward transportation infrastructure. Currently, Coloradans can claim a tax credit of up to $5,000 for passenger vehicles that are electrical or plug-in electrical hybrid vehicles. This credit can increase to upwards of $20,000 for heavy-duty trucks. The money siphoned from these tax credits will go to the Highway Users Tax Fund, which is the major source of state funding for Colorado Department of Transportation and is estimated to amount to $21.5 million in the next 5 years. During a hearing for the measure, Senate Bill 188 on Tuesday, an amendment reduced the amount raised from the measure to about $14 million. The bill passed the Senate Finance Committee on a 3-2 party line vote with GOP in support. Transportation funding needs in Colorado are estimated at $9 billion over the next decade. Dawn Mullally, a representative of the American Lung Association, said her organization opposed the bill because it removed incentives to move away from fossil fuels, which increase carcinogens in the air. Scott Hutchings, representing Waste Management Incorporated, said his company had converted more than 100 trucks from its fleet as a result of the tax incentive. Bill supporters questioned the actual carbon reduction from electric vehicles. Also, they questioned why Coloradans were being asked to subsidize the upgrading of private companies' equipment. By allowing these subsidies to continue, you are unfairly choosing to use our tax dollars to benefit a finite group of individuals and corporate interests, said Rudy Zitti, Deputy State Director for Americans for Prosperity. The bill will next go before the full Senate for consideration.
According to the Durango Herald, a bike park, an improved BMX track, a new skate park, and picnic space are just some ideas floated for an improved Cundiff Park in Durango. The city budgeted money for park design this year, but work won't start without more community discussion, Parks and Recreation Director Kathy Metz said. 2 years ago, the city floated plans to build bicycle trails east of the Animas River Trail, and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board asked Metz to explore the idea further and consider options for a traditional park as well. A public process for the park could be held this summer. I'm sure we'll hear other ideas and interest in the community, she said. The 17-acre park along the Animas River is behind the shopping mall that is home to Big Five Sporting Goods and Zia Taqueria. It was formerly used for disposal of snow in the winter, and it is largely undeveloped except for a dirt lot, the BMX Durango track, and Animas River Trail. The BMX track was allowed to open on a temporary basis 14 years ago, but not having a permanent status has hindered permanent construction, said Jordan Roop, the track operator and coach. He would like to have restrooms, concessions, a bigger garage, and better drainage. It was put together by volunteers, and it's inadequate, he said. Since it was built, it has been absorbed into the Durango Parks and Recreation system. A new facility could draw more people from out of town for competitions and better serve racers who practice there. In the summer, about 120 kids attend camps there, and many cyclists who are not BMX riders use the track. The nonprofit that supports BMX Durango track and programs sets aside money annually to help the city fund improvements. It would help young athletes, including those in Durango Devo, keep up with their competitors training elsewhere, Devo coach Sarah Tresher said. Devo coaches are creative in teaching skills, but when Devo cyclists compete against those who have a bike park, they have noticed a difference. Bike parks give cyclists the ability to practice skills in a confined and controlled environment, and they are gaining on an edge over Durango riders. Tesher has been advocating for a bike park for 10 years, but it seems to get delayed year after year.
Earlier this year, the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board held a meeting for anyone to come and present ideas for future parks and recreation projects. There were several groups interested in a bike park in Cundiff, and some groups who would like to see another skate park built there. The board also fielded general requests, many not related to Cundiff. Residents would like to see outdoor pickleball courts, more restrooms along the river trail, a Camino del Rio underpass, and sand volleyball courts to replace those that will be eliminated by the expansion of the sewage treatment plant next to Santa Rita Park. And now, let's take a look at our weather.
There is very little to say in weather coverage for our forecast area for today. The high pressure system we are under will continue to develop today and tomorrow. This afternoon, temperatures will be 5 to 10 degrees warmer than yesterday, and tomorrow we'll see an additional 10. The pattern will then hold steady until Friday evening, when some moisture will ride over the ridge, affecting the northwest corner of the state, and then clear and warm and dry Saturday. For Sunday, we'll have to give that another day, as models disagree this far out. Our national forecast image shows us that, as has been the pattern, as one low pressure exits the Pacific Northwest, another one approaches. This next incoming low is expected to make landfall by this evening, with a surge of moist air pushing inland ahead of the system. Expect another round of heavy rain along the coast of Northern California, Washington, and Oregon. Rain will change to snow as it moves inland and into the higher terrain. The snow will be heavy at times, persisting over the next couple of days in many locations. Winter storm warnings and advisories are in effect from the Cascades eastward into the northern Rockies for the incoming snow. A stout low-pressure system is still driving the weather for much of the eastern U.S. This low is expected to slowly move northeast along the Quebec-Manitoba line today and tonight, reaching the Hudson Bay by Wednesday, and a strong cold front extending southward from that low will continue to sweep eastward, impacting areas east of the Mississippi River and near the Gulf of Mexico today. Widespread rain and thunderstorms will be the main concern ahead of that cold front. Another reinforcing cold front will poke its nose southward from Canada on the back side of that low. This will result in a strong push of Arctic air into the north-central U.S. Lingering moisture across the region will collide with this cold air to produce snow showers along the Canada border in the upper Mississippi Valley today and in the upper Great Lakes tonight and Wednesday. In our 5-day forecast, disregard those clouds in the automated image. Tomorrow and onward will be sunny and mostly sunny, with a high temperature for today in the mid-40s, tomorrow in the mid-50s, and the rest hovering near 60. Southeast slight breezes today around 5, and tonight an east wind near 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow still from the east between 5 and 10 miles an hour, and then calm tomorrow night. Lows will run from the upper middle 20s to the mid-30s, and it will feel like spring is already sprung. But it is the great Southwest and too near the Rockies to get presumptuous and hope for smooth sailing till summer. Now back to the news.
The Cortez Journal reported on Mancos survey updates. Mancos trustees and Chamber of Commerce board members discussed results of a town survey and laid out goals for the year at a joint workshop session March 1st. Mancos Valley Chamber of Commerce Administrator Marie Chiarazaria said the Chamber sent out a survey to residents of the 81328 zip code, which includes the town of Mancos and surrounding valley. They received 140 responses to the survey. Just over half of survey respondents said they had lived in Mancos for more than 10 years, with nearly a third saying they have lived there for more than 20 years. About 15% said they had lived in town for less than a year, and the remaining third of survey respondents said they lived in town for 2 to 10 years. When asked what brought them to Mancos, most survey respondents said quality of life, proximity to Durango, and a job. Other responses included relatives, proximity to Cortez, opening a business, and outdoor activities. Most people said they wished to see better roads in town, including paving or fixing potholes. People also said they would like to see more shopping in the form of small local businesses, but no chains. Survey respondents said they would like to see the Chamber be supportive for businesses and make it easier for them to be successful in Mancos. They also said they would like to see the Chamber encourage more new small businesses and provide more publicity for existing businesses. Board members brainstormed things that are going well in Mancos and things that could be improved. They came up with the top 3 goals they could realistically achieve in 2017 by collaborating between the town and the Chamber. One goal was to install more flower barrel planters downtown along Grand Avenue and enlist businesses along that stretch to help maintain them. Town trustees and Chamber board members agreed that beautification of the town should be a priority. Another goal was to capture lodging taxes from businesses in town that should be paying the tax, including private property owners who are temporarily renting out rooms on websites such as Airbnb and VRBO.com. The third goal was to install signs around town that direct tourists to attractions such as downtown businesses and town parks. Mancos Town Administrator Andrea Phillips said the town is growing at a steady and healthy rate. Phillips said it was higher in 2016 than it has ever been before. There are now just over 1,400 residents in Mancos, and revenues are increasing.
National Weather Service officials have recognized Dolores County, Colorado as a storm-ready county. The Storm Ready program helps community leaders and residents better prepare for hazardous weather and flooding. Storm-ready counties have made a strong commitment to implement the infrastructure and systems needed to save lives and protect property when severe weather threatens. Ben Moyer, meteorologist in charge at the Grand Junction National Weather Service Forecast Office, presented county officials with a certificate and a special storm-ready sign during a ceremony at the Dolores County Commissioner's Room today. Jim Pringle, the warning coordination meteorologist for the Grand Junction office of the National Weather Service, said that the high elevation of Dolores County makes it particularly vulnerable to winter storms and strong wind events during the cold season, as well as numerous thunderstorms with frequent lightning and occasional flash floods during the warm season. Dolores County has a strong network of highly dedicated emergency services personnel who work tirelessly to protect the people of Dolores County. This Storm Ready recognition project started with Alan Anderson and is an ongoing effort currently being spearheaded by volunteer Tiffany Parisi. Dolores County Emergency Coordination's Operations Coordinator Todd Parisi said, "We have worked to build a whole community atmosphere in Dolores County which will serve us well when major weather events strike. It's been a pleasure working with the team at NOAA's National Weather Service office, and we appreciate all the time, effort, and resources they've dedicated to our community." The nationwide Community Preparedness Program, founded in 1999, is a grassroots approach to prepare for natural hazards. Today, more than 2,800 U.S. communities are better prepared for severe weather through the Storm Ready program. To be recognized as Storm Ready, a county must maintain a 24-hour warning point and emergency operations center. To have more than one way to receive National Weather Service warnings and more than one method to alert the public, and be able to monitor local weather and flood conditions, conduct community preparedness programs, and ensure that hazardous weather and flooding are addressed in a formal emergency management plan, which includes training for Skywarn weather spotters and holding emergency exercises. The Storm Ready program is part of the National Weather Service's working partnership with the International Association of Emergency Managers and the National Emergency Managers Association. The Storm Ready recognition is valid for 3 years and can be renewed. NOAA's National Weather Service is the primary source of weather data, forecasts, and warnings for the United States and its territories, and NOAA's National Weather Service operates the most advanced weather and flood warning and forecast system in the world, helping to protect lives and property and enhance national economy. Working with partners, the National Weather Service is building a weather-ready nation to support community resilience in the face of increasing vulnerability to extreme weather. To visit the National Weather Service online, go to weather.gov/GJT and on Facebook and Twitter.
Today's Marijuana Moment reflects on the potential new legislation for Colorado home grows, according to an article in thecannabis.co. Colorado is moving toward limiting growing marijuana at home under a bill that sets a maximum of 12 plants per residential property. A House committee voted 11-2 Monday to curb the nation's most generous allowances for growing pot at home. Colorado currently allows medical pot patients to grow up to 99 plants, far beyond other marijuana states, and it also allows recreational users to group their allotted 6 plants into massive co-ops, entire greenhouses of pot that aren't tracked or taxed. Some jurisdictions, including Denver, already limit homes to 12 marijuana plants. But sponsors say lower limits are needed statewide to avoid attracting black market pot growers. Of the 28 states that allow medical marijuana, none but Colorado allows patients to have more than 16 plants growing in their homes. Colorado home grow laws position Colorado as an attractive market for criminal operations, said Representative Cole Wist, a Republican from Centennial. Others argued that the lax plant rules prompt neighbor complaints about odors and possible fire danger from strained power supplies. Fort Collins Police Detective Jim Lendertz said, "We're not here to deprive anyone of medicine. Our concern is the effect that it has on neighborhoods." The bill approved Monday night would still allow large-scale grows, just not in residential areas. It now awaits a vote by the full House. Lawmakers were also considering a bill to give law enforcement more money to pursue black market pot. Deputies of Governor John Hickenlooper testified that federal uncertainty about the future of marijuana makes it important for states violating federal drug law to impose limits. Attorney General Jeff Sessions and other members of the Trump administration have said states should not be allowed to flout the Federal Controlled Substance Act. In the midst of uncertainty at the federal level, we think it's imperative that Colorado show it can regulate pot, said Mark Bolton, the governor's marijuana advisor. But the bill passed only after medical marijuana users testified for hours that the limit would force them into more expensive commercial markets. Colorado has some 19,000 medical marijuana patients whose doctors have recommended a high number of plants in order to produce cannabis oils and other medical treatments. It's recriminalizing something that's already legal here in Colorado, said Ashley Weber, head of Colorado NORML. Lawmakers amended the bill to make it a misdemeanor, not a felony, to be caught with too many plants on the first offense. Representative Casey Becker, Democrat from Boulder, said Colorado has the most liberal laws in the country on this.
According to the Cortez Journal, during their first meeting in the new City Hall, the Cortez Historic Preservation Board announced that another local historical society also has a new home. Dale Davidson and Patricia Lacey told the board that the Lakeview Grange has offered to let the Montezuma Historical Society turn its unused building in Cortez into a headquarters. Ever since the county museum closed in 1967, the society's collection of artifacts and documents from Montezuma's past has been stored in several different locations, including the old City Hall. Now that they've been forced to move out of that space, the society hopes to renovate the Grange building as a central storage facility and headquarters. The board gathered Wednesday in the Mesa Verde room of the newly opened City Hall on 125 East Roger Smith Avenue, becoming the first city board to hold a public meeting there. Lacey, who represents the Historical Society on the Historic Preservation Board, said the owners of the Lakeview Grange building offered to let the society use it as a museum, but that isn't their greatest need right now. "I don't know what we actually see it as a museum as much as a headquarters for the Historical Society," he said. The Grange is on County Road M near Lakeview Elementary School. City planner Tracy Hughes said it has only been used to store old desks and other equipment for several years. The Historical Society toured the building at the end of February and came up with a tentative budget for the repairs and cleaning they would need to do before they move in. But board member Mitchell Toms warned that an old building like the Lakeview Grange could have mice, which could put tenants at risk for hantavirus. Lacey said the Historical Society had discussed that possibility, and they plan to get a professional cleaning service to clear out all possible infestations. Davidson said the society is just waiting to sign a formal agreement with the Grange before they take possession of the building. If the building works out as well as they hope, it would be a big step forward for the Historical Society, Davidson said. "We wouldn't be spread out all over the town trying to figure out what we had and what we didn't have and what was missing," he said. "What a concept." There's even a possibility that the nearby school building could become a museum site in the future, although Davidson said no decisions have been made to that effect yet. During their meeting, the board also discussed the posters for their Historic Preservation Month event, which Vice President Linda Toll said should be finished by April, and the historic displays they plan to put up in City Hall, which will include some artifacts from the Historical Society. The board had planned to tour the new building as part of their first meeting there, but decided to wait for the official grand opening celebration on March 17th.
Here's today High Country happenings. The 2017 baseball registration deadline is quickly approaching on March 11th. Be sure to contact the Dove Creek Recreational Department to sign up. Go online to dovecreekrec.com for forms and payment options. This Saturday, March 11th, the Winter Farmers Market continues at the Four Seasons Greenhouse and Nursery in Dolores. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., don't miss out. The last weekend will be March 18th. The Durango Celtic Film Festival will run from March 9th through the 12th in downtown Durango. Award-winning bands include Solas, Colcannon, Goitz, and Barul. It's sold out the last 2 years, so don't miss out on weekend passes. General admission starts at $85. It's the 5th annual event year. In addition to the music, there are also workshops available. You can check things out online at Durango Celtic Festival, CelticFestival.com, or on their Facebook page of the same name. All of the happenings are listed on the DCTV Facebook page. Check it out. We hope to be streaming the news at noon as a live feed to Facebook very soon. If you have news or event information you'd like us to share, send us an email at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us here at the station. The number is 677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. A reminder that this program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday and rebroadcast at 2:30 and now 6 p.m. and again aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order.
And again, check us out on the Facebook page. It's DCTV News at Noon. Like us there, join the local conversation, and share it with a friend. A program note that our Talk Tuesday live call-in show will begin airing live on Tuesday evenings at 5:30 p.m. and can be seen rebroadcast nightly thereafter at 5:30 before the evening news replays.
For Kinder Cook and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, I'm Jerry Tope. Thanks for watching.